Hey guys, I'm Bridget. I'm going to do a live reading for you today, and we're going to be answering the question, what are they not telling you and why? Why are they not talking to you or telling you what is going on for them? So it's going to be a two-group selection. This is going to be group number 1, this citrine crystal. And this is going to be group number 2, this labradorite magic stone. Beautiful. There is some roadworks happening outside my house, so I apologize if there is noise that distracts you, but we're just going to get through this as best we can, okay? Life just throws you things, hey? So, yeah, we'll get started with group number 1, this citrine crystal, and we're going to be asking, what are they not telling you and why? I'm going to do this Goddess Tarot cards first. Shuffle these and see what comes through. Tuning into everyone who chose group number 1. What's been going on with your person? Okay, so we've got the Fool. So I think your person's been going through a lot of transitions right now. They're starting a lot of new things, and they are really learning about what they actually are wanting from the world. I think that they were on a path for a while of doing things just because that's what they thought was expected of them, and now they are shifting and moving into a period of their life where they're living from their own heart space. They're living from their own, what their heart actually wants them to put forward into the world, and this is a massive transition and almost like a leap of faith I'm hearing from Spirit. So perhaps it's like, perhaps what they aren't telling you is actually how terrifying this has felt for them. They kind of want to put forward this persona of like, yeah, I'm really brave and courageous, and they are, because they're doing it, but there is still this insecurity in them and this vulnerability around not only what they're leaving behind, but the unknown that they are moving towards. They're terrified of that, but they also just know they have to act, and they're putting things into motion. And I think that they secretly would like recognition of that from you. They'd like recognition of how much they are leaving behind and how much growth they are embracing right now. But again, they aren't ready to be vulnerable enough with you to actually ask for that. So back of the deck energies was this 7 of Cups, which talks about illusion. It talks about it can talk about like, making a choice, like having to make a decision, but it can also talk about feeling like a bit seduced by the illusions that life can offer us. So I'm seeing that your person has recently been going through a period of uncovering illusions in their life while simultaneously kind of resisting that process. Like, I think this process has actually found them rather than vice versa. Like, I don't think they've been seeking out a breakdown of illusions. I think unfortunately it's been seeking them out. And so for that reason, they're feeling kind of overwhelmed about that. Even though they are currently embracing changes in their life, they're finding this stripping away of illusions to be quite overwhelming. And again, they're not being vulnerable enough with you to let you know what they've been really letting go of in terms of illusions. And I think it's actually quite big stuff. I'm hearing family. I'm hearing they're seeing the family dynamic in a new way. And for some people, they're actually not even ready to admit that in themselves, but it's what their spirit guides are sending them right now. A lot of you, like for group number 1, your person needs to awaken to certain family dynamics in order for them to move forward as their own person and not who they were conditioned to be by their family of origin. Again, for some of these people, they are not consciously aware of this dynamic yet, although they are subconsciously or unconsciously aware of that, and changes are being made whether they like it or not. That's what I'm hearing from Spirit. So it's quite a serious time in their life, actually. And again, I think they're underplaying that to you for whatever reason. And I don't think they even realize how big this new beginning is going to be for them. It's actually going to be huge. And a lot must die for this new things to enter. And some of them are actually resisting that death. They're resisting the death of an old way of being. And they are not quite trusting in what this new situation has to offer them. They're kind of clinging to the past a little bit. However, they know, deep down they know how they need to move forward, and they also have you on their mind in this process. They are thinking of you and thinking of how do I create a life that involves this person in it with me. You're very integral to them, even though, again, I don't know how much they're sharing of that with you, because I think they have issues with being vulnerable, and Spirit just sent me a purple orb of light just there to say, yes, this is true, but they aren't able to be vulnerable with you about it at the moment because they're letting go of so much, and it's a very confusing time. The 7 of Cups energy for them is, it's a little bit almost, it's almost like there are more illusions coming up for them before more can leave, if that makes sense. Like there's some amount of things getting worse before they get better. Like Spirit's almost testing them with, like, okay, what illusion will you believe in, and what will you actually stand up against? And your person is worried that you are one of these illusions that Spirit is stripping from them currently. But you're not. You're in it with them. So perhaps you need to let them know that, because they're not quite sure yet if you are. And it's preventing them from letting you know more about what's going on for them. Alright, let's do some more tarot cards, okay? Okay, alright. So we have this 10 of Wands. So right now for them currently things are feeling quite overwhelming. They're feeling like really almost like burdened by the amount of change that is happening for them. Even though they created this change, they're feeling kind of overwhelmed by it and a little bit like frozen, like paralyzed within that overwhelm, rather than sort of asking for help. They're not good at asking for help, your person, are they? So they're not able to ask for help from you or from anyone else, so they kind of like have to do everything alone, and that's just dragging this transition process on longer than it actually needs to be, Spirit is saying to me. This transition was fated, but it didn't have to necessarily go this way. Part of that was your person's influence on this transition. Strength. So I think your person, I think they need to remember actually how strong they are. I think you see this in them, but for whatever reason, they have a little bit lost sight of this. Even though they have courageously stepped into this transition and they are genuinely courageously doing this work, I just think there's some amount of like not feeling supported by the universe. They have like some kind of story going on in their head that they're not supported, or that they don't deserve support, or that they have messed up in some way. They're really, really hard on themselves, your person, and they kind of like make things harder than they need to be because they want that recognition from themselves of like, yes, I worked hard to make this happen. You know, that kind of thing of like, I'm only satisfied if I've worked this amount of hard in a day, you know what I mean? They're kind of like that. So they have like very high standards for themselves, and this is causing them actually to have a little bit of issues in their psyche, like psychologically. They're kind of like setting the bar way too high, and they're not validating the work they do. They're just seeing like the part that, you know, the percentage that they missed, you know, of their goal. Rather than seeing your life as like a work in progress and things keep getting better, they're kind of like, I'm not there yet, and that's what they're focusing on. So I'm picking up that you have been noticing this about the person. You've been noticing that they haven't been like, they've just been a bit sort of shut off from you, a little bit like, not quite depressed, but just a little bit down compared to say like, okay, so we have two cards. We have the Justice card and we have the Seven of Swords card. Interesting. this justice energy is very... I think this is actually to do with their belief systems around karma. Spirit's saying to me, like, this person thinks they have to pay back something. This is very strange energy. It's sort of linked in with how they feel about you as well, though. I'm hearing from Spirit that it's also about them feeling like they're not going to... that they don't deserve you, that they won't end up with you in the end. And there's a little bit of like self-sabotage happening in this energy, actually. We'll come back to that. But there's also the Seven of Swords, which is talking about lies, deceit, trying to get away with something, trying to act strategically. So unfortunately, your person has gotten a little bit trapped in this energy because of their beliefs around karma and cause and effect, and how actually influential their behavior is. I think that they aren't seeing how important their intention is when they act, like to act with whatever intention it is that you want to bring into the world, rather than getting very judgmental of whatever action we take, kind of focusing on, okay, well, my intention was A, B, and C, rather than focusing on the result, because sometimes we don't get results right away, do we? So I think that they're creating this little bubble for themselves of like this thought loop around, wanting to get to a certain place with this full energy and truly manifesting that to some extent, but feeling overwhelmed by their belief systems around hard work being like the only way to be successful, or, just kind of like there's this thing in them around believing like that they have to prove their worth to everyone. They have to prove that they are worthy of even just being alive. Like, they have to almost fight just to be alive, like fight for their right to live, and, not just about money, but about deserving love, like from you and stuff. They think I have to work really hard to deserve your love. So a lot of the time they will actually, inadvertently lie to you. I don't think it's a really overt lie. I think they have, again, really good intentions. They just, because how hard they are on themselves, it's causing this, they want to put forward a certain image to you that looks better, and that they think like, I have to work really hard for you to love me, when I think actually the truth is you love them and you just want them to spend time with you, you don't want them to be like hiding from you in any way. And that's kind of what they're doing with this Seven of Swords energy. It is trying to get away with something. It is trying to act a bit strategically and a little bit, a little bit deceitful. But again, it's not bad intentions. Like, I always read the energy, and their energy is very loving and kind. They really deeply care about you. It's just their psyche is causing them to have some messed up beliefs around karma, around cause and effect, around, I'm only worth, contacting you if I've done this amount of work, or if I've made this amount of money, or if I'm, if I have something to show you about my life. Like, they're very image conscious, very image conscious. Interesting. Alright, so let's do a little bit of like tarot around like how they're feeling about you right now specifically, or how they're viewing you right now. Oh my god, we got the Nine of Cups. So this is basically saying to me that you are a wish come true for them. You are like their dream person. They couldn't have imagined someone being more perfect for them. So this is actually causing them anxiety, because again, they've got this story going in their head like, I'm not good enough for you yet. They don't think they're good enough for you yet. They see a future with you. They think, yes, this is a person I want to marry. This is who I want to have children with. Some of you may not resonate with children, but that's sort of like where they're going, even if they're not telling you that. But again, they have this block to just like being able to be happy about you. They have this block around you, and like they just think, I have to do all these things before this person will want me. I have to be all these things before someone's gonna, before I can even propose or, settle down with someone, it's like they haven't really truly found themselves yet. They're trying to really find themselves in a way that will help them to receive you or to ask for what they want from you. I'm even seeing they put you up on a bit of a pedestal, which is fine. Like, we all kind of do that. Whether that's something you want or not, I don't know. I don't think it really is too impactful on your connection. I just think it's something to be aware of. Because, yeah, I'm seeing you're really down to earth and grounded, and then you probably don't realize that this person is like thinking all this stuff about you and really idolizing you and fantasizing about you a lot and thinking like, you are my dream person, you are my wish come true, you're the person I've been dreaming of my entire life, and now you're here. It's just like, wow. Okay, let's do some oracle cards now about what are they feeling towards you, or what are they, how are they feeling about you? What are they thinking about you? What are they not telling you and how they feel about you, maybe? Yeah, what are they not telling you and how they feel about you? Alright, Spirit, I'm ready for a card. Okay, we got one. Boundaries. Love yourself enough to say no to others' demands on your time and energy. This is really interesting because often when I get this card, I usually read it for the person who's watching the video, but this time it's about your person. They need to love themselves enough to say no to people and to put up boundaries. I don't think they're good at boundaries at all. Very interesting energy. And I think this is very much impacting your connection, because if they had more boundaries, not only with themselves, and by boundaries with the self, I just mean, if a self-talk starts coming up that's very negative or, quite brutal towards the self, we have to put up a boundary with that voice and say, no, thank you. I'm not listening to that today. So I think they kind of like let their voices get carried away. And this isn't just make it sound like weird. Like, we all have a voice in our head, right, that speaks to us all the time, don't we? Like, I sure do. And, some of what, like, we are not our mind. We are not our body either. We are more than that. So I think they're getting very, very identified with their mind and letting voices in their heads that are being very critical, self-critical, kind of, they're believing it. They're not standing up for themselves. They're just believing that. And it's not true. It's frankly not true. So they need to, like I said, put up boundaries with their own self, but also put up boundaries with their family. I keep hearing the message about their family, needing to separate from their family, put up boundaries there. There's some paralysis happening with that for them. They know it's there, they just don't know how to move forward with that because it's causing them a lot of grief. There's a lot of grief connected to family with them. Again, they probably aren't telling you that because their level of awareness with that is, it's not all there. So be gentle with them around that, I would recommend, because it's a very sensitive thing for them. And maybe you could, just set an example around how you set boundaries in your own life and with your own self to really guide them in a gentle way, rather than telling them, you should do this or you ought to be doing that. Just, allowing them to come to that for themselves. But, we can influence people with how we live, that's all we can really do. Let's do some more. Okay, so what's your person not telling you and how do they feel about you? Okay, so we got quiet time. It says take some time alone to rest, meditate, and contemplate. So this is very interesting energy. It's very, very kind energy. I think they see you as this like safe space to retreat to. I think like they're the most genuine with you out of anyone in their entire life. I think that they find you like a breath of fresh air, and they find that coming home to you is so peaceful and soothing, and you love them like they've never felt love before, is what Spirit's telling me. How else do they feel, Spirit? You're their dream person. She keeps saying that to me. You're their dream person. They're counting, like they're seeing a future with you, whether they're telling you that or not. Like they're just planning their whole life with you. They want to marry you. They're just really overwhelmed with their own stuff right now. Wow. Alright, we'll do one of these oracle cards to finish with, okay? Okay, let's do a final card. Spirit, what have you got for us? Oh my god. Liberation. It says, breaking free from a negative attachment. Yeah, this card sums up where your person's at entirely. They're breaking free. They're going to fly, just like with this 10 of Swords. See that eagle up there? It's going to fly, but they're going to do it in their own time. So as much as you can, be patient with them, if that's what you choose to do. They love you a lot, so, you know, their intentions are all good. They're just working on being able to be more vulnerable with you and to let go of like appearances. They're very concerned about appearances and not just physically, but like how they, you know, how other people might judge them for whatever they choose to do for work or whatever boundaries they put up. They're really concerned about judgment from others, and their sense of self is still very influenced by other people's opinions, which is, you know, painful, to be honest. So yeah, they're going to liberate themselves. It's just, you know, it's their own path, I guess. But yeah, thank you, Group 1. I hope that reading resonated with you in some way. And yeah, I'm sending all my love to you, okay? And I'll see you real soon. Okay, so group number 2 with this labradorite stone, labradorite, I don't know. Alright, so we're going to tune into everyone who chose group number 2. We're going to do this Goddess Tarot, and we're going to ask, what is your person not telling you and why? Why aren't they talking to you? Alright, so of course we just get like a million cards. Okay, we just got the whole reading already. Alright, so many messages coming through. Let's go a little bit slower, Spirit, please. I don't want to feel overwhelmed. Oh my god. So we have the Magician. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the 6 of Cups. We have the 8 of Swords. We have the 10 of Pentacles. And we have the Ace of Cups. Alright, so 6 of Cups. What are they not telling you? They need to forgive somebody, and it's probably their family. Because the 6 of Cups talks about our inner child, and it talks about our childhood and our memories from that period of our life. And our childhood tends to mimic our past lives. So issues that we carry forward into this life from our other lives will be played out during our childhood. So when we accumulate traumas of different kinds in our childhood, they are usually echoes of what has happened to us in another life. So your person has very big themes that they are working on this lifetime, as we all do. However, your person, for whatever reason, isn't quite acknowledging how painful aspects of their childhood were. And I think this comes up for people because they don't know how to hold both. They don't know how to hold both the goodness from their childhood and the pain. And it's always both, you know. they think, because right now they're on this bandwagon of like, my childhood was great, my childhood was amazing, my parents, did the best they can and really supported me and sacrificed a lot, all of that stuff. I'm hearing single mother for some of them. So they're very attached to honouring their childhood for all that it was, and all the goodness that it was, which is amazing. But in doing that, they're actually turning their back on the aspects of their childhood that were challenging, aspects of their inner child that need to feel loved. And it's like, it's causing them so much pain, and they're just like they're really like rigid in keeping their back turned to this inner child that's in them. So, that's their path. But I think you've been picking up that maybe like their stories aren't all consistent, or they will suddenly feel like really angry for no reason, and you're kind of like, whoa, like what was that about? Or they say something about their family, but then when they're with the family, they act in a totally different way than what they usually do. Like, I think you've been picking up on stuff, but they have never been acknowledging that for themselves, or if you have ever brought it up with them, they don't acknowledge that at all. So that's really frustrating for you, but this is what they're not telling you right now, because they're not telling themselves that right now. And, we can always still acknowledge all of the ways that our parents or parent was so there for us and so beautiful and incredible, and, wouldn't change a thing. But that doesn't mean we can't acknowledge the times that we felt let down, or the times we felt unseen or unheard. It's always both, Yeah, so they're going through anxiety right now, and kind of nightmares, and picking up they have some insomnia issues for some. They have some anxiety around your connection. They've been thinking about it a lot, but they've been thinking about it in terms of almost not feeling very good about it. They're feeling kind of concerned that you are going to lose interest and that you are going to just move on. That's what they're afraid of. They're afraid of abandonment. They're afraid of you abandoning them, okay? And I don't know if that's what you're going to do. I doubt it, because you're watching this video. But sometimes maybe it's time to go. But I think what honestly needs to happen is communication. Swords are about communication, and I think not only do they need to communicate their anxiety to you, but perhaps you need to communicate something that is going to soothe this negative thought loop they have around the relationship or the connection, if you're ready. If you are ready, then I think some communication around your loyalty to them or your commitment to moving forward with them might help their anxiety. But again, this is stuff that they have to work on ultimately for themselves. And I think that if they would get a little bit more honest about their childhood and to take care of their inner child in a different way, in a new way, then this anxiety would really sort of dissipate. Okay, so these are interesting energies. I think that your person is incredibly strong at manifesting and incredibly financially abundant and stable with this 10 of Pentacles. If they're not there right now, this is their energy that they hold. This is the future they're moving forwards towards, and they're definitely someone you would want around. They're good at bringing things to them, and yeah, like I said, manifesting things that they want with this Magician card. Very good at manifestation. And this 10 of Pentacles, they want to provide for you. They want to buy you gifts. They want to shower you in luxury. I don't know how many of them are actually doing that for you, though. I think there's a block somewhere with them around... they think they can't show you how much they care. They think that you would be turned off because they care about you so intensely that they are almost a bit embarrassed, actually. They're embarrassed by it. Wow, I've not felt that before in a reading, but they're embarrassed that they care for you that much, and they think that you could have any person that you were interested in, and so they kind of have this old belief around like treat them mean, keep them keen. Not that they're treating you mean by any means, but they are trying to downplay their attraction towards you out of a belief that it will make you more attracted to them. That might be true for some people, as in you might find them more attractive if they are showing you less of their attraction, but I think for a lot of you, actually you would probably just like to know how much they are into you so that you can feel a measure of safety in this connection. So this Queen of Pentacles is interesting because to me it's very related to the mother. So I think there's a mother issue happening for this person. They might be a little bit of a mama's boy. I'm sorry I had to say it. Or a mama's girl. Or they were raised by like a single mother or something like that. They feel a lot of respect for their mother. And it's preventing them from acknowledging the ways that their inner child felt unseen and unheard in their childhood. And it's actually stopping them from caring for themselves in the way that like you would also want for them. Like, you know, I think we're very good at observing people we're in connection with and thinking like, you know, you're not really looking after yourself very much right now, are you? Kind of that sort of energy. And I think the reason that they sometimes don't follow through with self-care is because they have this mother wound, have a mother wound in their heart. And so sometimes they neglect their needs, or they, you know, spend a whole day and not eat anything, or they, you know, just aspects like that. Like maybe they just like leave their house really dirty for a long time and then they'll come back to it eventually, or they're not very forthright in like caring for you sometimes as well because they have this mother wound block. And I think it's a very sensitive topic for them. I think it's very challenging for them to even admit that, you know, that is a wound for them. But honestly, it's a wound for everyone to a different extent, and it's not a bad thing, you know. Our mothers themselves were wounded by, you know, a patriarchal society that they would have grown up in. Like, I'm not saying that's gone now, but, you know, we are shifting. A lot of things are shifting, but, you know, I think we need to normalize inner child pain more and normalize that, you know, our mothers are incredible. Like, I'm not saying that they didn't do the best that they could, but that's part of forgiveness, is acknowledging the whole story, right? We can't forgive someone unless we've gotten honest about how much something hurt. So this is what's going on for your person. And again, I know that you have been picking up on this, but it's very hard sometimes to validate things for ourselves when our person won't acknowledge it for themselves too. So this Ace of Cups came out as well, so they really want a new beginning with you. They want a new beginning in love, where it feels harmonious and it feels magical, when it feels gentle, when it feels like honeymoon phase again, is what I heard. So I think this is really possible for you guys. I think that there's just like some amount of your person rejecting the feminine. And it's not like, it might not be heaps obvious for you or for them, but like they don't sometimes acknowledge the wisdom that you hold. I'm picking up that you are the more feminine one of the pair or of the connection. And so sometimes they don't acknowledge your wisdom of your intuition and of your emotions and of your love and your charm and your romance and your gentleness and your sweetness and your sensitivity. And it's all things that they absolutely adore about you, but it's, again, things in their own heart that, because of this mother wound they have, that they feel ambivalent around embracing or around even believing is available to them. Like, it's almost like they have this thing around like having to be like a macho, masculine person. And again, it doesn't matter what gender they are. It's just about what, if we value, like, some of us value feminine or masculine essences more, or, or we just naturally create one of them within ourselves more, you know? So there's just this issue happening with mothers, with their mother. And I'm also picking up that this needs to be resolved before they can like have children with you, because it's something that they have considered. Again, take what resonates, everyone, so don't freak out if this freaks you out. Just leave it be. But for some of you, I'm picking up that they want children with you, and that's what they've been fantasizing about in terms of a future with you, especially with this new beginning. But what's blocking them is their own relationship with their mother. Maybe their mother died. That will be true for some of you. And so there's this massive grief wound there for them. Okay, let's do a couple more cards. Okay. So we have 2 8s, the 8 of Wands and the 8 of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. So finances is incredibly important to them. And with this 8 of Pentacles, which is like Virgo energy, they're kind of learning how to be, they're at an apprentice phase in their life right now. And they're a little bit like wishing that they were already here at this 10 of Pentacles energy, which is what their future is. This is totally where they're heading. Okay, I just got another message around this King and this Queen of Pentacles. So, you two are like very much a perfect match. You're like a match made in heaven. And that's how your person views you, as, you know, as their queen or as their king. And I see that you have a very bright future together, that's very, very stable, and that's very like, almost like luxurious, and able to really provide for a family in a very consistent way. And that's something that your person values a lot, is consistency and is being able to provide for people. So this 8 of Pentacles, they're getting frustrated with this, like, you know, this energy of having to just keep doing the same task over and over again. And they kind of want to be further along than they are. So really for them, it's just around patience, and maybe they need a bit of acknowledgement from you as well, that they have, like, at how hard they're working, because they're working really hard, and I think they'd like for you to see that more in them. And yeah, I think that you two may be going on a trip together very soon with this 8 of Wands, or they're going on a trip for work. Something around action, maybe you're going to move house together. There's something around a massive change in location that's coming for you both, and it might even be coming individually. Like, your person might be moving house, or they might just be like going on a trip for work, or you're both going on a holiday, or you're both relocating. Something like that. So this is causing them a bit of anxiety. But they really want to move away from this. They're forgetting how to just enjoy doing the task for doing the task's sake. They're kind of getting way too ahead of themselves and thinking about all the things they want to achieve and accomplish and all the money they want to make, which is great, but they're not happy where they are, they're not comfortable where they are, and they're not accepting where they are. And that's really putting a strain on your connection, because they're not accepting where you guys are at in your connection too. And they're kind of like sometimes focusing too much on work and forgetting about you and taking you for granted and taking your connection for granted. And because they're so invested, actually, that's why, like, they're so invested and loyal, and they're sticking around. And you're a little bit like, sometimes when they just ignore the connection for a while, you're a bit like, well, are you, like, why would I stick around if you're not, you know, here for me a lot? And it's because they are looking at the big picture. They're looking at the long-term view. They're looking at, you know, 20, 30, 40, 50 years down the line. Like, that's how much they're looking into the future with you. So I think you need to keep that in mind and, you know, ask yourself if that's also what you want, I guess. Okay. I'm going to do some goddess cards now for you. So Let's do a little bit. Oh, okay, so this just came out. Infinite supply. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. So I think that's a message for you both. I think for you it's more about love, and for them it's more about money. There you are. Okay, so, oh, my computer just went funny. Here you go. Alright, so what is, so what else is going on? What are they not telling you? And also, how do they view you right now at this point? How are they viewing you and stuff like that? I find that interesting in this one. Oh. Alright, one more, Spirit, come on. Okay, we've got 2. So we have unconditional love. So this is how they view you. Love yourself, others, in every situation, no matter what the outward appearances may be. Yeah, so they think that you love them unconditionally because they love you unconditionally. And I think you do love them unconditionally, but I think sometimes you're a bit like needing more from them, and that maybe you need to ask that from them in your love style. Like, I think they love you in their own style, such as working really hard and looking into the future with you both. But again, I think sometimes you feel like there's not enough love in the connection, so you need to ask for love in the way that you'll receive that love, like words of affirmation or quality time or acts of service. You know, those are all the love languages. So when we get in touch with what our love language is, then we can ask for love from our person in the way that we will receive it, you know, in the way that we will feel nourished by it. So they love you absolutely unconditionally, and, you know, I think that sometimes they're just not the best at really, really showing this to you. Also says start delegating. So it says ask others to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. So yeah, this is another message for you, hun, is that you need to ask for love in the way that you will receive it, because we can't just expect someone to mind read, okay? I'm the same, I do this all the time. But we can't expect someone to read our mind and love us in the way that we need. We need to start delegating and asking for it from someone in a specific way, so that we feel like we feel full of love, you know? That's what we want, right? So yeah, start speaking up for yourself more about how you need love, in what ways you would like to receive love, even how often you need to hear I love you, anything like that. Just, you're allowed to ask for what you need, and we're only as needy as our unmet needs, okay? Like, it's fun. Okay, and we're going to do one of these to finish this Gaia Oracle deck, this beautiful deck. Okay, so what do they not tell you? How are they viewing you right now? This card came out, Yin and Yang. Creating harmony through balance. Yeah, so I think this is you guys moving forward, if you can, is to move forward into this energy of Yin and Yang, balance, really balanced energy. Like I was talking about the balance of the feminine, Yin, and the masculine, Yang energies. Balanced within you as individuals and balanced within your union as partners. So this is a very beautiful and very positive card. I also am noticing this butterfly, which is telling me that you guys are going to go through a transformation very soon in your connection together. And I think that it's going to be very well received by you both. And I think you're already there, like you're already beginning that transformation phase. But keep in mind, there is a lot of stages of transformation that the butterfly must go through before they become a butterfly, right? They have to be a caterpillar, then they have to be in their cocoon. And then they finally break free and spread their wings and fly. So it's like, have patience with the process and know that, you know, there's so much learning to soak in during the journey. Like sometimes we get so focused on the destination, we forget about how good things are just right now in the present. And let's do another of these, because they're beautiful. Okay, Spirit, what have you got for us? Okay. Nine of Hearts, fulfillment, harmony, and protection. Yay! So this is really beautiful. And yeah, I just see this again as the energy of your relationship or your connection moving forward with this person. And I think that they're really in it for the long haul. So it's like, it's more about whether you are as well, you know. So this is really positive. Fulfillment, harmony, protection. I think they really want to protect you. They really want to provide for you in that way. And they find you so fulfilling. They just, they're fulfilled by your relationship. They're not looking elsewhere at all. Like, they're really not interested in anybody else. No one else catches their eye the way you do. No one else makes them feel the way you make them feel. No one else feels as, just like a perfect fit as you two are together. That's what they're really left with about your connection, is how harmonious it is for them, how much they're like, no one has ever known me the way you know me. No one has ever gotten me the way you get me. No one has ever treated me like you treat me. No one has ever loved me like you love me. Like, it's just so unique to them and so, priceless. I just heard it's priceless to them. Like, it's beyond anything they've ever experienced. So perhaps they're not really telling you that as much, but that's where they're at, and they think about you all the time. They really do. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and they really want to protect you, protect your heart. They don't want to hurt you in any way. They don't want to break your heart in any way. So sometimes maybe they do less than doing more because they want to protect you. But actually, I think you need to let them know that sometimes doing less makes you hurt more. So yeah, again, it's just around finding that balance, and that involves a lot of communication from both people. But I'm hearing that you need to voice your own needs more because you're worthy of having your needs met, okay? Thank you, group 2. I hope that reading resonated for you in some way. And thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you real soon, okay? Goodbye.